I've tried to win this war, I confess. My hands are weary, I need your rest. Mighty warrior, queen of the fight. No matter what I face, you're by my side. When you don't move the mountains, I'm needing you to move. When you don't part the waters, I wish I could walk through. When you don't give the answers as I cry out to you, I will trust, I will trust, I will trust in you. Truth is, you know what tomorrow brings. There's not a day ahead you have not seen. So in all things, be my life, my breath. I want what you want, Lord, and nothing less. When you don't move the mountains, I'm needing you to move. When you don't part the waters, I wish I could walk through. When you don't give the answers as I cry out to you, I will trust, I will trust, I will trust in you. I will trust in you. You are my strength and comfort. You are my steady hand. You are my firm foundation, the rock on which I stand. Your ways are always higher. Your plans are always good. There's not a place where I've gone you've already stood. When you don't move the mountains, I'm needing you to move. When you don't part the waters, I wish I could walk through. When you don't give the answers as I cry out to you, I will trust, I will trust, I will trust in you. I will trust in you. When you don't move the mountains, I'm needing you to move. When you don't part the waters, I wish I could walk through. When you don't give the answers as I cry out to you, I will trust, I will trust, I will trust in you. I will trust in you. I will trust in you. I will trust in you.
Thank you. Grand Rising Jubilee. Let's take a big breath together. Reach up. Ooh, feel into this new day. Reach, stretch, yawn. Welcome to this day of letting the river of trust run. And if you are tuning in from the virtual realm, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're here in person, thank you for braving the heat, for braving the downtown and all the things to be here now. It is such an honor to be with you. I am Cathryn the Grateful, Jubilee's Minister of Movement. And I am so happy to be home and to be here to celebrate during this season of Via Positiva. But before we get started, I just would invite everyone to turn to someone you may not know, welcome them to the service, introduce yourself, say hello. Welcome. I'm Cathryn. Fran, good to see you. Yeah, thanks for being here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are in the heart of Via Positiva, and if you are new to Jubilee, we are part of the creation spirituality realm. And that means we celebrate the seasons. And of course, the season now, and this beautiful banner made by Jubilant Mimi Shackelford, is Via Positiva. It's all about the sun, the sunflowers, and the tomatoes. Anybody have a ripe tomato yet? Get ye to the farmer's market. It is filled with bounty. This is the season of awe and wonder and reverence for all that is blooming and alive in the earth. And yesterday, we were blessed to have a celebration of the earth called The Earth is Alive with the Street Creatures Puppet Show from downstairs. They brought it upstairs. The place was packed. The puppets were in action. There were suns and ravens and rivers and dandelions and even kudzu. And it was truly a wonderful experience. So if you have an opportunity to tune in to what our friends at Street Creatures are doing, who are part of our Jubilee experience, I would invite you to do that. But it is a time to celebrate Earth being alive. It is a time to celebrate the rivers that flow, because we are all flowing with the rivers of life. And today we're really honoring the flow of trust. What does it feel like to let the river of life flow with trust in our hearts, with trust in our guts, with trust in all that is around us, trust in the mystery? That is what we are exploring today at Jubilee. I'm so happy y'all are here. Let's stand and sing, shall we?
In the middle of the night, I'm walking in my sleep, from the mountains of pain to the river so deep. I must be looking for something sacred I lost, but the river is wide and it's too hard to cross. Even though I know the river is wide, I walk down every evening and I stand on the shore. I try to cross to the opposite side so I can finally find what I've been looking for. In the middle of the night, I go walking in my sleep, through the jungle and down to a river so deep. I know I'm searching for something so undefined, that it can only be seen by the eyes of the blind. I'm not sure about a life after this. God knows I've never been a spiritual one. Baptized by the fire, I waded to the water that runs to the promised land. In the middle of the night, I go walking in my sleep, through the desert of truth, to the river so deep. We all end in the ocean, we all start in the streams. We're all carried along by the river of dreams, in the middle of the night. In the middle of the night.
Thank you. Good morning, Jubilee. It's such a wonderful time to be alive and to be trusting in the next breath, especially whenever all that we're really offered is the next breath. So in this opportunity, I would like to just in my heart to offer a song for the mother, for the generations that are coming, for the generations that have been, of trusting will always be there. Even if we don't know what to ask for. And to live in the great mystery of life. the true trust of emptying of what we think we know. Letting go. Letting go of all the things that we've been shown, and to create and trust what's inside of us together, to envision, to realize, and act upon what we see is coming next.
Breathe deeply. Thank you, Yona, for sharing your gifts, your voice, your love of Creator and of creation. We feel your flowing tears. We feel it. Trust, trust, trust in me in all you do. Have the faith I have in you. Love will see us through, if only you trust in me. Taking a deep breath as we prepare to sing our song to feed the hungry. Invite each of you to dig deep as we offer our gifts to the folks who need it the most. Jubilee has been feeding the hungry for over 30 years. Invite you to do so as we place our offerings in the basket, standing for this song.
We are sacred love is all that we are. We are sacred love is all that we are. Show me the way, Lord, show the way. We want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, Lord, lead the way. We want to live in such a holy place, such a holy place. We are blessed peace is all that we are. We are blessed peace is all that we are. We are deepest joy is all that we are. We are deepest joy is all that we are. Show the way, Lord, show the way. We want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, Lord, lead the way. We want to live in such a holy place, such a holy place. We are sacred love is all that we are. We are sacred love is all that we are. Sacred love is all that we are. Sacred love is all that we
Good morning, Jubilee, all you sacred lovers. It's good to see you out there. Hello, out in video land. This is the time where it's called Jubilee in Action. This is how you can connect with other people and other projects that are going on with Jubilee right now. You all know about the Wednesday thing. We took a week off last week for the Born Free experience, and that was very well attended. We appreciate everyone who participated in that. This coming Wednesday, Whitney Moore will be leading. It starts at 7 p.m., and this is July 27th, this Wednesday. The theme is Shake the Magic 8 Ball. Ooh, what could that be all about? So it's musings on the nature of gnosis, featuring music, meditation, and play with Billy Jonas, Jackie Dobrinska, and Daniel Barber. Donations will go to Jubilee, and no one will be turned away for lack of funds. Childcare will be provided, so please come. Plans are coming together for the Jubilee Summer Orchestra's return. It's going to be on Saturday, August 20th, so please mark your calendar, 3 in the afternoon. This is an ongoing Jubilee tradition that took a pause for a few years because of COVID and other things, and we're so glad to have them back. It's amazing to see this entire room filled. Half the room are musicians, and the other half are music appreciators, you guys. So please come. This year, it's an Americana program called Lincoln Highway that will include John Williams music from Lincoln, Nolan Stoltz's Lincoln Highway Suites. You can tell what's on my mind. And Florence Price's Travels End. Tickets will be $15 at the door, with a third of the donations going to Jubilee. Of course, the seeds for celebration for the Via Positiva are on the website. If you have an idea for a gift, if you have a gift you want to share during the celebration, please get in touch with me. We have themes set, and we'd love to connect you and get you up here and sharing your gifts with Jubilee. Let's see, what else we got here? We've got Marion is going to speak about the Latin Neighbors team.
Hi. I've been doing this for about 11 years here, and I moved away, came back, and sort of lost track of it, but I'm back on the ball again. I represent an organization that works between members of the church who need work done and the Latin American community. I've gotten myself involved in that community because I really enjoy them, and you will too. What I'd like to say is just that I'm going to be in the art room after the service. What we do is I go with a worker to your house, and you tell them what work you want done. Might be landscaping, might be building a small deck. You can talk to Elizabeth, she just had that done. It might be 3 guys coming over and redoing your whole yard. So it's wonderful. I can give you more information, but meet me in there, and I'll give you my name, phone number, and email. Please email me with the work you want to do so I can find the right person, okay?
Hey, everybody. I'm going to talk a little bit about the short-term fundraising committee and about the Bring Your Own Talent projects. So the short-term fundraising committee is basically, we need a whole lot of people to help us keep Jubilee not just afloat, but thriving. So there's a lot of things that need to get done. This probably should be called something other than just fundraising. But things we specifically need people to do are research folks who may want to rent our spaces, like yoga instructors, event planners, homeschoolers. For instance, homeschoolers could rent the space downstairs where we have the nursery program right now. That would be a cool space for little kids. Work the door and helping out with set up events. We're going to start taking credit cards at the door, so we really are going to need a team of people to help out there. Help with phone bank, reaching out to jubilants who haven't fulfilled their pledges yet, might need a little nudge, or who haven't been with us for very long and might need a little reminder about who we are and what our community means. Post Bring Your Own Talent promotions on Facebook and social media. Contact local media to promote the Bring Your Own Talent projects. And bring your own ideas and manage these projects that you want to suggest, so you can become sort of a sub-team leader of any kind of project you personally might be interested in doing. We're going to have a Zoom meeting tomorrow at 1:30. The link is on the homepage of the website, and everybody is invited to participate because I think everybody's got good ideas, everybody's got good energy, and we all know that we as a community really have to join together to do this stuff. So the Bring Your Own Talent project is a big part of this short-term fundraising. And there's lots of projects that are already getting started that make it fun and easy for you all to support Jubilee. And we've already got some concerts and classes and workshops set up, and they are on the website also now. I've created a Bring Your Own Talent project webpage. If you want a table to sell your wares or reserve event space, contact me. My contact information is there, or I'll be around after the celebration today. And everything is on the website, right on the homepage to make it easy. And my personal project is Reiki, so I am offering Reiki sessions by donation sliding scale, $25 to $75, with 100% of those proceeds going to Jubilee. So anybody that's interested in scheduling that kind of a session, you can see me afterwards, or my contact information is there. Thank you all.
Thank you, Michelle. And that would be michelle@jubileecommunity.org. Chaz?
Good morning, Jubilee. I'm Chaz with the Earth Team, and this is a call to action. In 2021, the General Assembly passed the Energy Solutions for North Carolina bill that called upon Duke Energy to make a carbon plan to reduce greenhouse gases by 2030. The North Carolina Utilities Commission is hosting a series of hearings to receive public feedback on Duke's draft plan, one of which is here this Wednesday. That's the 27th. It'll be in the courthouse, Buncombe County Courthouse, 7 to 9. A rally will happen before this at 6 o'clock outside of the courthouse. Bring signs, and you'll hear speakers talking about the issues involved in this draft plan. Prior to that rally, the Creation Care Alliance is offering an ecumenical prayer and some grounding around climate change and the many feelings that we have about it. If interested, that starts at 5:15 outside the courthouse. For full information about the North Carolina efforts to deal with climate change, see the creationcarealliance.org website. There's an online hearing in August, so you could bone up on these issues and give your own feelings about, and it would be possible to send in your thoughts online without participating in one of these hearings. We need to tell the North Carolina Utilities Commission that Duke must do more for our beautiful Earth home and for all our relations. Thank you.
Elizabeth Lacus is going to give us an update from the board.
Good morning, Jubilee. And morning to those watching from the comforts of your own home or somewhere else not in this room. I'm Elizabeth Lacus, and I am on the board of directors. I'm finishing up my 3-year plus term. And is anybody here for the first time at Jubilee? A few people here. Welcome to you all. You're going to hear a lot of cool things that are happening today, and I'm going to tell you some realities of some things that a lot of faith-based communities are facing. But make sure that you reach out to some new faces, people that you don't know well, things like that. So for those of you that have been around, you've seen or heard the news that our board met last Monday night and agreed that selling this building is the most responsible step forward for us to preserve our assets and continue the mission of Jubilee. This was not an easy meeting, and it was done with a very heavy heart and a lot of mixed emotions. The decline in giving that began during Howard's year of transition into retirement, 2018 and 2019, has continued. The short version, I'll tell you, is we were cushioned the last 2 years in 2020 and 2021 by the federal payroll protection loans and grants that we got as a bonus and a generous bequest last year. However, the rapid decline in giving since January of 2022, for these last 7 months, combined with a pretty volatile stock market, has eroded our financial reserves to dangerous levels that no one could see coming. To drift and keep hoping for the best would risk defaulting on our obligations, our fiduciary obligations, and possibly losing this asset. So, as you saw in Thursday's newsletter, 3 groups have been meeting and are following up after that board meeting. We'll be working over the next couple of months. All of their contact information is in the newsletter and in links on the website. Bruce Mulkey, our administrator, is leading a group to sell the building. Team members include Tim Moran, Nancy Ellington, Bill Byrne, Ray Raymond, John Busey, Bussey, sorry, should know that, Sam Neal, and others. And over the next weeks, we're going to be simultaneously trying multiple approaches. We're talking with a commercial realtor from Beverly Hanks about listing the building as a whole, but also just listing the downstairs. So if there's a possibility that we can sell that, have this space, continue to sort of figure out what our future looks like. We're also having conversations with several private buyers and investors that might be some possibilities with partners. And my favorite, we even have some exploratory conversations going on right now with a coalition of local nonprofits with deep experience in justice and equity work about the possibility of a coalition of investors buying this space and creating some kind of justice hub, which, and that one this week, I tell you, brought me hope, not just for the future, but that we could continue to do what we want to do, but with other people's resources and partnership. So lots of different prongs that we're exploring right now. It's totally speculative at this point, but worth pursuing. The second is the Expense Reduction Subcommittee led by Pam Garrett. She's our community member on the Human Resources Committee. Myself, Tara George, Patrick Fitzsimmons, Jeff Peisner, Martha Ramsey, and Tim Moran. And then the Short-Term Fundraising Committee that Shell was just talking about, led by Michelle, includes Michelle Smith, Bob Lantis, Billy Jonas, Whitney Moore, Jackie DeBrinska, Daniel Barber, Mark Foster, Debbie Davis, Sarah Laird, Mary O'Connor, Susie Davis. So there are a lot of jubilants in on this, all hands on deck. A lot of people are helping out figure out what we want to do next. So you can see that list and how to contact them in the email for this morning's service, as well as the week's newsletter. Or just ask me or Michael or Bruce or Shell. This is a real mixed time for us, for all of us. Many of us are sad, brokenhearted about potentially losing 46 Wall Street. It's a space made sacred by baptisms. My own kids were baptized here. I told you I wasn't going to be able to get through this, Michael. Baptisms, weddings, memorial services, blessings. I stood here 4 years ago and undergoing chemo, bald as a baby. And Howard made me stand up and said, "Look, she's rocking the bald look." Obviously, that was a few years ago. All of these things that have happened here, this is a sacred space. I've been here for more than 20 years, and we've had hugs and prayers, singing, all kinds of wonderful things that we want to continue. We wove this nest together, and it feels like home. It is my spiritual home and has been for more than 2 decades. But somewhere deep in the womb of this via negativa that we sort of skipped over, the energy of the creativa is stirring. We get up here and talk about the vias. We publish about them every week, every month, every quarter with the Seeds of Celebration. We're actually being called to live it right now. Practice to walk the walk, reminding us that all of life on this love-infused planet is generational. Plants and humans, puppies and bullfrogs, everybody has their season. One generation, one chapter fades while another is emerging and evolving. I heard many years ago that every church of any kind has to be born again. And so many faith communities are struggling. I was just on the Biltmore United Methodist site this morning looking. If you've noticed, this church that's been around forever has an enormous for sale sign. Yet on their website, vibrant, reconciling congregations, LGBTQ, recovery communities, justice orientation, they're still going. They're finding another space. And if the Jubilee I know, if anyone can weather this transitional storm, it's this community. So last Sunday, in the spiritual meditation that Shel Bernhardt led us through, we focused our collective intention on the Jubilee Board being open to and following deep wisdom in its meeting. So if you're up for it, and if you're in it, the time for us is to focus right now on this collective intention on our community to have the courage to offer ourselves to the new life that is potentially unfolding. Even when Michael and I met with Howard last week before our board meeting, he reminded us that when he started this crazy community 33 years ago, there were only a few people in a church basement with no money and no idea, a faint idea of what they really wanted to do. So here we are, starting over again. But this time we have decades of knowing that amazing things can happen when we come together and practice loving each other. Just came back from the Wild Goose Festival this past weekend, if you're not familiar with that, and got this bracelet and left it on my counter. It said, "Love is my religion, peace is my intention." That's the Jubilee that we are, and the Jubilee that I think we can continue to be. So, final quote. Didn't mean to turn this into a message or a homily. The world is too beautiful and too dangerous for anything but love. So may the spirit of courageous love take our eyes and see through them, take our hands and work through them, take our hearts and set them on fire. Oh yeah.
Thank you, Elizabeth. This is Jubilee in action. You all are part of it. You are the action. We are here for love, for the earth, for each other. Thank you.
Just want to reiterate, thank you, Elizabeth, for your service. You have been in service to this community for many years now. Thank you for that. We really honor you. Let's take a deep breath together, y'all. We are deep in the rivers. Can you feel them flowing? The rivers of change, the rivers of trust. I'm very, very honored to welcome our special guest today, offering us a gift of song. This is my friend, I'm honored to call you my friend, Madelyn Ilana. And I am so excited to announce that today officially is the day that her new album, Coming Into the Light, premieres. Today, y'all. Today. This record has been an incredible labor of love. I have been so honored to witness its emergence, its birthing process. And we will be celebrating this release tonight at ISIS in West Asheville. The show starts at 7:30, and there are still tickets available. I will be there with bells on. There will be a full band, so I can't recommend it highly enough. In the midst of all this change, there are so many new beginnings, new things being born in a good way. So we're so honored to welcome you, Madelyn. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
I'm feeling so moved by what has just been shared. The song that I'm planning to share with you today is actually called Everything Changes. And it's rooted in a process that I was in around coming to the understanding that there were ways that I was constricted and not allowing the river of trust to flow through me. And I was actually spending the evening in the woods one night, and I decided that I was going to build a fire and jump over it as a gesture of stepping into a new beginning where I could allow myself to be seen more fully. There were ways that I was aware that I was hiding out of a desire to grasp onto things staying the same. And so with what's just been shared with this, I feel such a profound trust just emanating in this space and emanating in all of us here in the allowing life to unfold. Because the nature of life is growth and entropy and evolution and involution as we continually become closer to God in every moment. And so I offer this to you all this morning with such deep gratitude to be here. And thank you, Cathryn the Grateful, for inviting me. It's such a momentous day. She invited me, and sat with it and I thought, what a big day. Is that a good idea to get up and get out? And I said, of course it is. Let the rivers of trust run. Yes. Yes to that. So the song is called Everything Changes.
everything changes. This is the time in our ceremony and our celebration where we come together to ring and sing our bowls and bells. Yona will be at the Western Wall. If anyone would like to pray with a minister, you are welcome to go. Simply stand, be with him, ask for prayers, receive prayers. There's no right or wrong way to engage at the Western Wall. It's a place of many prayers received and given, and a wonderful part of this space and place. So I invite you to come if you choose and get a bell, get a bowl. And as we close our eyes and soften into our hearts, breathing deeply into our feet, sensing the earth beneath our feet, we call out to Mother, Father, Goddess. We call out to the divine. We call out to Source, to the great mystery. We call out, reaching forward, upward, outward, downward in wholeness, connecting in trust to Source, allowing the vibration and the sensation of our bowls and bells to ripple from our hearts, to sense the flowing of the rivers as we move through and with and among the blessings of all creation. We are one with all that is. We are one in the rivers of trust. We are one. We are one with all that is. We are one with all that is above. We are one with all that is below. And we feel the connection in the beating of our hearts, in the rhythm of our breath, in the flow of blood in our veins. We feel the connection with all creation. In the midst of the change of life, in the midst of the change that is part of the dance, we open our hearts to trust. Trust in the mystery, the possibility. Trust in Source. Trust, beloved. Trust. Allowing this trust to ring forward like our bowls and bells, like a pebble in a lake, making bigger and bigger circles out, connecting us to all that is, all that was, and all that will be. Breathe deeply. Opening our eyes, coming back into this space, this place, this time, this sacred community. And it is from this space that we open to, is it sharing the peace? That we open our eyes and our hearts to sharing the peace with one another. So I invite you to stand and share God's peace.
Reach out your hand if your cup be empty, if your cup is full, let it be again, let it be known. There is a fountain that was not made by the hands of men. Reach out your hand if your cup be empty, if your cup is full, let it be again, let it be known. There is a fountain that was not made by the hands of man.
Ah. Woo. All right, y'all, let's get settled in a little bit. Take another deep breath. Let's raise our arms again, reaching up, feeling into all that's around us. Stretching down, yeah. We're going to hear these sacred words from Isaiah 26. Trust in God forever, for in God you have an everlasting rock. And from Robert Raines, author and minister, to go with the flow of life is to live without a map, to be vulnerable to having your plans changed, your heart broken, your dreams unfulfilled. It is to trust that God is in the rapids of change as well as in the rocks of continuity. It is being able to stop digging your heels against the tides of tomorrow. It is exercising a suppleness of spirit in which you respond to the nudgings and promptings of grace, moment by moment, day by day, in a kind of love-making in life. This is sacred wisdom and holy word. All creation is wisdom and holy word. All creation sings of wisdom in God. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Trust in me in all you do. Have the faith I have in you. Love will see us through. If only you trust in me. Why don't you trust in me, beloved? The beautiful Etta James croons it out. Why don't you trust in me? Source asks us this every day. Why don't you trust in me? From our readings, Isaiah reminds us that God is an everlasting rock, and yet we find ourselves in the flow of the river sometimes feeling without any place to hold on to, anything to ground into, anything to really feel ourselves connected. It's kind of like we're free-falling a little bit. And I can imagine why we may not be able to trust in Source. Anybody ever had their heart broken? Anybody ever been betrayed? Yeah. Anybody ever done a little heartbreaking? Anybody ever done a little betraying? We are but human beings. And the reality is that these things are part of the process of life. So it makes it a little sticky to feel trust. Because see, trust is in action. If faith is in being, if faith is a noun, trust is a verb. Trust is a space of doing. It's a space of action. And don't we have any Brene Brown fans, followers here? Yeah. Yes, we're grateful for the prophetess that is Brene Brown. She does a beautiful study and research on the anatomy of trust. And through over 20 years of research, we see that trust is indeed built in the smallest of moments. It's in the tiniest gestures. It's in remembering our parents' name or sending a card on your anniversary or birthday. It's in those small, meaningful actions where trust is built. And she talks a little bit in the anatomy of trust about trust being like putting into a marble jar. We put in little acts of trust, and we fill up that marble jar, right? And so I was reflecting with this big news that we've received about Jubilee, about this space. I was reflecting on these 30 plus years that I've been a jubilant here in this home base, and all the marbles that have gone into those 30 years, all the little beautiful actions that I didn't even really realize were going on that got put in, marble by marble. And it's a big jar by now, y'all. It's a real big jar. And I'll tell you, when our main man stepped away and all of those things shifted with our ministry, with our ministers, with the presence in the space, some marbles came out of my Jubilee jar. I don't know about y'all, but I lost some of my trust marbles. I really did. And I think many of us found ourselves having some depletion in that jar. It's hard to trust when things are changing. And it's like, well, does it have to change? Why can't it be this way or that way? You've done something. The board, the celebration, whenever we point those fingers, of course there are those fingers pointing right back at to us. We are a community that celebrates creation. And this space, this Jubilee, it's not a building. It may have been homed here for a long time, but it is not the building that makes up Jubilee. Jubilee is right here in each and every one of our hearts. We are divine beings in human form, celebrating creation week after week in this sacred space. And I'm reminded that before this place was Jubilee, it was a nightclub, right? It was a sacred place for dancing and drinking and Lord only knows what shenanigans, right? And so as we lean into this unknown space, and we're asked to continue, after years of this change, to continue to trust the flow of this river, to continue. We're all like, come on, y'all. We want a full-time minister. We want this and that. We want these things to stabilize. Trust. Trust that it will evolve, emerge, flow as it is meant to flow. Trust. It is in the simplest actions. It is in Yona showing up with the sacred smoke, calling the directions. It's in the band playing the music. It's in Jubilee in action. It's in all the actions that we do, because trust is a verb. Trust is a verb. And in the anatomy of trust, Brene breaks down that there are things that we can break a little bit farther into with trust. She makes an acronym called BRAVING, and it certainly is an act of bravery to choose trust, right? But it reads something like braving as boundaries, setting and honoring boundaries, reliability, accountability, vault, being trustworthy, keeping things in the vault, integrity, non-judgment, and generosity. These are the elements of trust. Braving into trust. And when I really looked at that anatomy, I realized for myself personally, I've been out of integrity on multiple occasions. How many of us have been out of integrity on multiple occasions? And this is why it is such a beautiful thing to have a rock, a home base, a spiritual connection to source, to mystery, to the divine. Wow, call it what you will. I call it Divine Mother. God, Goddess. Call it what you will. It's the sensation that there is more going on than we can possibly know. It's that knowingness inside our very temples that allow us to brave trust. And we don't know what the future will hold with Jubilee. We don't know. Heaven knows where we are going. But I like to imagine that when we sell this very expensive piece of property in the heart of downtown, perhaps we could buy a building a little outside that has a place for free parking, that has a place for a sweat lodge, that has a place that we can have kiddos playing outside in a playground. Perhaps we actually emerge into a place of even better home base. Perhaps this place has run its course. I don't know. I don't know. You don't know. We don't know. That Jubilee is always, always here. Jubilee is a verb. Jubilee is love in action. Jubilee is trust in action. Jubilee is faith in action. That is who and what we are. And I want to remind us about another place that was pretty experimental and revolutionary, because I consider Jubilee pretty experimental and pretty revolutionary. And that place is Black Mountain College. How many of you are familiar with Black Mountain College? So it existed from 1933 to 1957, 56. There's a debate on that, but we won't go into it. And it closed its doors after 27 years of being an experiment in education, of being an experiment of art. It closed its doors. It didn't have the financial management that it needed to sustain itself. It was the McCarthy era. They had the FBI stationed there because they were radical, homosexual communists making art, right? It closed down, right? It failed, right? Wrong. Last week, Black Mountain College was on the home was on the front cover of the New York Times Magazine. Why? Because a group of students from Black Mountain College, when it closed its doors, they went out to San Francisco and they started the Black Mountain Writers and Poets. They were the Beats. They were also the first people at the first Burning Man on the beaches of California. Now 70,000 people are celebrating art and making love in the desert in Nevada, right? They were the seeds of so much possibility that has affected our writing, our entire lexicon. Another group of Black Mountain College students and teachers went to New York. They were the visual artists, de Kooning, Jasper Johns, Motherwell, Cy Twombly. They birthed the American avant-garde visually. They ended up inspiring Pollock and Warhol, and so much came of it. And what happens on the space that was Black Mountain College? What happens there? Lake Eden Arts Festival, celebrating its 50th festival this October. So much community, so much art, so much positivity has happened in a space that changed. In a space that changed. Everything changes. That is the nature of life. But we have an everlasting rock in source, in the mystery, in trusting the mystery. And how can we be sure to really hold this? How? We dance, we move, we breathe, we connect, we give, we join a team, we lean in to making sure that we're keeping the main thing the main thing. Because the main thing isn't these four walls and this ground. That is not the main thing. The main thing is that we celebrate creation every day, that we know that source is a rock, that it's fluid, that it moves, but that we can always find this resting place for our faith, for our love in action, for our trust. Everything changes. Everything changes. The waters of life surround us, move us, flow through us. Trust, trust, beloved. Why won't you trust in me? Why won't you trust in me? Why won't you trust in me? Everything changes. Moving with it, trusting it. Let it flow. Let it flow.
Everything changes. Everything changes. Everything changes. I surrender. I free fall. I surrender. I free fall. Everything changes.
Surrender, free fall. Surrender, free fall. Let the river of trust move through us, move with us, move our living temples in trust, in love, in connection, in the mystery. Oh, yeah. Mm. Let's get those bowls going around, y'all. Invite you to please dig deep. We've had a lot of shifts and changes with tithing, so if you're able, please consider really making a donation. You've got an ability to tithe. We are so grateful for your support. Everything changes and it takes funds to move through and with, so thank you for your donation. Let's keep these separate.
And all you do, have the faith I have in you. Love will see us through. If only you trust in me. Why don't you trust in me? Come to me when things go wrong. Cling to me, and I'll be strong. We can get along, we can get along, if you trust in me. While there's a moon up in the sky, while there are birds to fly, while there is you and I can be sure that I'm stand beside me, Jubilee, all around. Oh, as we face the future, why don't you smile? Why don't you smile? Oh, and trust me.
Once again, huge thanks to Paula Hanke and the World Beat Band. This church was built on music. This community was built on movement. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I invite everyone to stand. Let us go forth, and if it's comfortable, let's take hands, coming together. All right. So just sensing into your feet, connecting into the earth, the support of the ground beneath our feet, as we offer this blessing of the community, as we celebrate the rest of our week, moving in trust. Holy One, Creator, Mother, Father, Goddess, thank you, thank you, thank you for these blessed hands that we hold. Thank you for the flowing rivers, the rocks, the wind, the waves. Thank you for this sacred community. Thank you for this celebration of community. Be with us, our everlasting rock. Move with us and through us and among us, knowing deep inside our bones, inside our heart, inside our breath and our blood, that we are connected. We are connected to all that is and all that will be. Help us move with a place of trust through the evolution of our community. Help us step in. Help us brave the future together, connected in trust, in faith, in love, and in hope. Thank you, Creator. And so it is. And so it is. Raising our hands up, yes. Let's let these rivers flow. Sing a little song, set on a star, and there's a trail of love through the dark of the dawn. Let the roots run, let all the dreamers make the nations come, the new Jerusalem. One, two, three, four. Some love is just a lie of the heart. The cold remains of what began with a passionate heart. They don't want it to end, but it will. It's just a question of when. I've lived long enough to have learned. The closer you get to the fire, the more you get burned. But that won't happen to us, 'cause it's always been a matter of trust. I know you're an emotional girl. It took a lot for you to not lose your faith in this world. I can't offer you proof, but you're going to face a moment of truth. It's hard when you're always afraid. You just recover when another belief is betrayed. So break my heart if you must. It's a matter of trust. You can't go the distance with too much resistance. I know you have doubts, but for God's sake, don't shut me out. This time you got nothing to lose. You can take it, you can leave it, whatever you choose. Won't hold back anything, and I'll walk away a fool or a king. Some love is just a lie of the mind. It's make believe until it's only a matter of time. And some might have learned to adjust, but it's never just a matter of trust.
state of control.